Hello students, now we are doing the part 3 of atoms, elements and compounds. So it's part 3 of atomic structure and periodic table, which is a subtopic. So now let's learn about atomic number and mass number. That what exactly is atomic number and mass number and which are the particles that contribute towards these properties. So the first we are going to study is atomic number. See, we know that till now we have learned that we have an atom, right? And in atom, proton, electrons and neutrons are there. We have also already learned that proton carries positive charge, electron carries negative charge and neutron has no charge, right? And in an atom, the number of protons are always equal to number of electrons. That is the reason atom is electrically neutral, right? Now, the number of protons present in an atom gives the atomic number. So, atomic number can be defined as the number of protons present in an atom. We can also define this definition as that it is the number of electrons present in an atom. Because we know that in an atom, the number of protons are always equal to number of electrons. So, atomic number can be a number of protons present in an atom but it is always, comfortable to write the number of protons, not the number of electrons, though we know that number of protons are equal to electrons. But still, I think that you should go with number of protons. The reason being that we do have the existence of iron in nature. And you know that iron possesses certain charge, positive or negative. So, when iron is formed, either it loses electrons or it gains electron. So, in that case, the number of electrons gets changed. So, but if you talk about the proton remains the same whether it is atom or an ion. So, it is best to use that atomic number is number of protons present in an atom. But keep in your mind that number of protons are always equal to number of electrons for an atom. But for an ion, the number of protons are never equal to number of electrons. That is the reason the atom carrying a charge is called as ion. It no longer remains as atom. So let's learn the atomic number of elements from 1 to 20. See, atomic number is very important, and whenever you encounter any question in your exam, it is not compulsory that the atomic numbers will be mentioned. So you have to remember that, and at least I think that you should have a knowledge about 1 to 30 atomic numbers. This is must. This is the minimum number that should be learned by you. So let's learn the atomic numbers ranging from 1 to 20. So the first atomic number is given to hydrogen. So first is hydrogen. Second we have helium. Third we have lithium. Fourth we have beryllium. Right, and 5 we have is boron, 6 we have is carbon, 7 we have is nitrogen, 8 is oxygen, right, 9 is fluorine and 10 is neon. So here I have written 1 to 10 atomic numbers. So I'll just write so that it is easier for you to remember. 4 is beryllium, 5 boron, 6 carbon, 7 nitrogen, 8 is oxygen, 9 is fluorine and 10 is neon. And we also know their symbols. Hydrogen symbol is H, helium is He, lithium is Li, beryllium is Be, boron is B, carbon is C, nitrogen is N, oxygen is O, fluorine is F and neon is Ne. And these are their atomic numbers, right? And we know that number of protons are equal to atomic number. So if I need to know about the number of protons in them, so hydrogen has 1 proton, helium possesses 2, lithium 3, beryllium 4, boron 5, carbon 6, nitrogen has 7 protons, oxygen has 8 protons, fluorine has 9 and neon has 10 protons, right? So this is how you are going to remember the atomic numbers. And sometimes you get a question like this, that you have an atomic number and you need to find the protons, or the protons are given and you need to tell the atomic number. So the atomic number is always equal to protons, or protons are always equal to atomic number. Likewise, we know that number of protons are always equal to number of electrons, but for an atom. So in a similar manner, you can write the number of electrons, because in this case we are not considering the ions, we are considering just the atoms. So it is equal to the number of protons, right? So in this case, if we talk about atom, right, so atom possess atomic number which is equal to protons, which is further equal to electrons, right? So this is for 10 elements. Just let's write for 11 to 20 as well. So the 11th one is sodium. 11th is sodium. 12th is magnesium. And 13 is aluminium. Right. And 14 we have is silicon. 15 is phosphorus. And 16 we have is sulfur. 17 is chlorine. 18 is argon. 19 is potassium. And 20th is for calcium. Right, so I'll write the atomic numbers. Magnesium is 12, aluminium 13, 14 silicon, 15 is phosphorus, 16 is sulfur, 17 is chlorine, 18 is argon, 19 is potassium, and 20 is calcium. Likewise, we can write the protons. We know that protons are equal to atomic number, and electrons for an atom is also equal to number of protons. So both are 11. Similarly, for magnesium, both the numbers are 12. For aluminium, both are 13. For silicon, again 14. For phosphorus, it's 15. For sulfur, again 16. For chlorine, protons also 17 and electrons also 17. Even for argon, it's same. For potassium, again 19. And for calcium also, it is 20. Right, and I think you know the symbols, but just for a revision sake, I'm writing. Sodium is Na, magnesium is Mg, aluminium is Al, silicon is Si, phosphorus is P, sulfur is S, Cl is for chlorine, Ar is for argon, K is for potassium, and for calcium it is Ca. So I think you got it, that how you're going to find the atomic number, protons and electrons, and how you're going to relate them. So this is all about the atomic number. Next we have is mass number. See, mass number is something like, as I've told you, we have an atom, we have protons, electrons and neutrons. So if we calculate protons and neutrons and we add them, right, so it gives us the mass number. So we can say that mass number is the number of neutron and protons present in an atom. It is the number of neutrons and protons which are there in an atom. Mass number is written as A. Mass number is, the symbol for mass number is A. For atomic number it was Z. I just missed, so please remember that atomic number symbol is Z, and for mass number it is A. And how you're going to represent? It is equal to number of protons plus number of neutrons. So this is the way how you calculate the mass number. For example, if I say that certain element has, let's say, 11 protons and 12 neutrons, and I need to know its mass number. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add these numbers and we'll get 23 as an answer. That is the mass number. For this taken example will be 23. So likewise, you can find the mass numbers for different elements. See, like atomic numbers, I told you that you need to remember at least from 1 to 30. But for mass number, they are, that almost they are mentioned in a question, but precaution's sake, you can have an idea, at least for the mass numbers of elements ranging from atomic number to 1 atomic number to 20 atomic number. You should actually remember these at least. So let's see mass number of few elements. So these are the mass numbers, like for an example, helium it's 4, for boron it's 11, carbon 12, nitrogen 14, oxygen 16, chlorine 19, neon is 20, argon is 40, chlorine is 35.5. See, it can be in fraction also. It is 32, phosphorus 31, silicon 28, aluminium 27. So likewise, you can try to remember mass number for at least few elements, at least for 1 to 20 at least, right? So now, how you represent an element? What is the typical representation of an element? So whenever you need to represent an element, first you need to write its symbol. Like in this case, we have taken any x, y, z example. So let's say it is x. So I have written its symbol as x, right? Now, the proper way to write an element is to specify its atomic number and mass number. So atomic number is always written at bottom as subscript, and mass number is always written as superscript. So this is the correct or the relevant representation of an element. Like if I say that, like if I talk about sodium, and you know that the atomic number for sodium is 11 and the mass number for sodium is 23. The mass number you need to remember, right? So how you're going to write it? First, I'm going to write its symbol. I know that its symbol is Na. Then I need to specify the atomic numbers and mass numbers as super and subscript. So atomic number we know is the subscript. So I'll write 11 here, and mass number as superscript, which is 23. So this is the perfect representation of an element. So likewise, you can represent any element, but yes, you have to remember the atomic and mass numbers and also their symbols. Let's do few question and answers. The first question is, how will you represent carbon whose atomic number is 6 and mass number is 12? So we know that in order to represent an element, we need to use its symbol. We know carbon symbol is C. Atomic number is written as subscript, which is 6 given in the question, and the mass number is 12, which I am writing as a superscript. So this is the correct representation of carbon. Second question we have is, calculate the number of protons, electrons and neutrons in atom, and the mass number is 23 and the atomic number is also given, which is 11. So we have any let's say atom, let's take it as X, right, and its atomic number is given. What is the atomic number? Atomic number is 11. And even the mass number is given, which is 23. So we need to find protons, electrons and neutrons. We know that atomic number is the number of protons in an atom. So that means protons which are there in this X atom is also equal to atomic number, that is 11. So next we need to write for electrons. We know that this is an atom, it is specified, it's not an ion, and we know that for an atom the number of protons are equal to electrons. So obviously they will be equal to the protons because this is an atom. So it is again going to be 11. Third, we have to look for neutrons. Neutron, how we will calculate it? We know that mass number is 23 and mass number is something protons plus neutrons. Protons we already know, we have actually calculated, it is 11, and neutrons we need to calculate, and mass number is given as 23. So when you will solve for it, you will get as 12. So neutrons in this case is calculated to be 12. So this is how you're going to solve if you have an atom with atomic number and mass number given. Third we have is, identify the element with protons 12, electrons 12 and neutrons 12. So in this question, we have protons as 12, electron is 12, both are same, that means we are talking about atom. Neutron is again 12. This is a coincidence that neutrons in this case is same as protons and electrons. Otherwise, there is no certain, you can say, a hard and fast rule that the neutron has to be equal or not. But yes, the protons and electrons has to be equal for an atom. So we need to identify the element. So how we are going to identify? We are going to look for protons. Protons are 12. 12 means its atomic number is 12. Now, how will you make out that which out of them will have the 12th atomic number? So you need to learn them. That is the reason I told you that there might be few questions where you need to use the atomic numbers which you have learned previously. So if you haven't gone through them, please go through it, because learning atomic number is very important. So if you know, or if you have learned the atomic number, then only you can make out that 12th atomic number in this case belongs to magnesium. So the correct answer is magnesium, because the atomic number for calcium is 20, for sodium it is 11, and for beryllium it is 4. So you need to remember, and then only you can answer the question like this. Next question is, identify the element with electrons 15. Electrons are 15, right? So here it is not mentioned that it is iron or something, it's just written element. Element specifies only an atom. So electron 15, that means protons are also will be 15, because protons and electrons are equal. And if protons are 15, that means atomic number is going to be 15. So again, you need to learn atomic number in this case also. So 15 atomic number belongs to phosphorus. So the correct answer is phosphorus, because the atomic number for nitrogen is 7. So electrons are going to be 7 in this case. Argon is 18. So electrons are going to be 18 for this. And for calcium, the atomic number is 20. Again, the protons and electrons will be 20 in this case. So the element left with electrons 15 is just a phosphorus, which is a correct answer. Next question is, identify the element with electrons 10, protons 11 and neutrons 12. We have electrons are 10, protons are 11 and neutrons are 12. Now if you look at this question, right, so you will see that in this case electrons and protons are not equal. So that means in this case it's not an atom. In this case we are talking about ion. We are talking about ion. Now which ion is this? How you will make out? You will make out by looking at number of protons. Protons, that means 11, atomic number 11. So 11 atomic number belongs to sodium. Right, so that means it is sodium ion. It is sodium ion. You can write as Na positive, or you can just write as sodium ion. So if in any question electrons or protons are not same, that means it is an ion. And which ion is this? You will make out from the number of protons, not by looking at number of electrons. Right, so it is Na positive. I have put here because in this case electrons are 1 less than the protons. So electrons are 1 less. So that means in this case 1 positive charge is more. That is the reason I have put 1 positive. That is Na positive. If in case we have electrons as 9, or you can say 10, and the protons as 12. So in this case the protons are 2 more than the electrons. So if I have a question like this, I am going to write it as 2 positive, because 2 positive charges are more in this case. So this is how you're going to attempt these questions for ion. Thank you for watching this video. For more learning experience, visit to www.busrats.com. So with this we finish the part 3, and we'll study more about this chapter in part